It's been like weeks.
It has.
2 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I can't even remember now.
Our studio audience didn't even show up tonight.
I know. They just said, it's Christmas time. Suck a bag of dicks, and off they went. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 126 of the Crafty Boys, where it is full swing into the holidays. And of course, if you haven't been watching already, we're going to flip over to the camera so we can see Alan and watch him die slowly from coughing to death.
Yes.
Our advent calendar, of which we just finished day 13 today, and it was a lager called the Temperance Pre-Prohibition Lager, and it was not too bad for a lager, because, not a huge lager guy, but something I feel like I should be swinging from tree to tree in the forests of British Columbia. But yeah, other than that, it was pretty good. So check it out over there. I'll put a link somewhere. I don't know, somewhere around here. Other than that, Dave was sick last week because he pussed out and couldn't do it. So we decided to wait for him because, that's how awesome we are. And
Dave made me sick.
Yeah, Dave. Jeez, man. Leave your disease at home.
Over Gmail or, the Googles, the tubes on the interwebs.
The tubes on the interwebs were wet and carry disease, so...
Exactly. So he passed his cold on to me hundreds of miles away.
And
but I didn't puss out.
No,
here I am, Dave.
So although
I'm ill.
I will give it up for Dave for finding the beer because he was wussing out yesterday, so I can't find the beer, so I got something else. And then I'm like, dude, here's the link to your local, store. And then, half a day later, he's like, got it. So, of course, there were only 2 of them left. So good on you there, Dave.
And I almost didn't.
Maybe they had to go look in the back.
This bottle, I would like to say, is a camouflage bottle.
Let's see. What is a camouflage bottle? Is that what it officially is called?
No, it does not make itself known.
It was hiding a lot. It was pulling a predator on you.
Okay, so what is the beer?
Oh yeah, that's right. The beer tonight is the North Shore. It's called Bridge. Sorry, it's on the North Shore. It's called Bridge Brewing. They are. Of course, the people who brought us one of the best IPAs we've ever had, called the Side Cut, and we did that, I don't know, a few months ago. But anyway, I was in the store a few weeks ago, and I just happened to see this, and I thought, you know what? I think it was actually still November when I bought this. So yeah. I said, let's do it because it has the Grinch. They have the right font anyway. And they have little tiny trees on it. So that made me smile. And it's a winter seasonal ale. It is strong. Apparently it has 6.5% alcohol. And it has 26 international beer units. So not much else is known about this, but I have been to the Bridge Brewing facility when I bought the Side Cut when we did it for the show. And they actually have... they're called a nano brewery. They're small. They're not that big. They've got, I think, about 6 tanks or so. I mean, they're big, but still, it's a small operation. So it's like a big, huge door rolls up. You can see all the tanks. They have a little side area where there's like a small, tasting room. And you can buy as much fermented meat as you want. So that said, I'm opening this baby. And because I used my only clean beer glass about 20 minutes ago when we did the other advent calendar, I'm going big or I'm going home. So I'm pouring this baby out.
All right, this is the Grinch. He's a mean one.
He really is a heel.
Yeah.
He's as prickly as a cactus.
Charming as an eel.
Mr. Grinch.
Inch.
Okay. Wow, I am pouring really horribly this time. I can't even pour the entire.
Very dark.
This stuff looks like tar.
Yeah, it does.
So check that out. That is beer. That beer is so incredibly amazing.
Ooh.
Now, I'm actually going to check. I got to look this one up on the interwebs because I'm kind of curious to know if there's anything about it.
It tastes like a stout with hints of coffee and perhaps chocolate.
All right, so here we go. The Grinch. Tis again the season, the time of year, the time of the oh my lord, awkward copy. Where the brewers at Bridge create Christmas beer, but the pressure was on. They felt it. Oh, they trying to do a poem here? Wow. But the pressure was on. They felt in a pinch. Could they create a good Mr. Grinch? They stewed and reviewed about the brew to debut, then finally approved this beer just for you. It pours a dark brown with a slight hint of red. It's a rich winter warmer that will leave you well fed. Notes of caramel and treacle, all things good. There's even a hint of Granny's plum pud. With ho-ho hops from New Zealand to add notes of pine and some soft Christmas spices, it's truly sublime. So if it's some true Christmas cheer you seek in a cinch, simply place an order today for the very limited Mr. Grinch. The Grinch is now currently unavailable. So the hops are mild. The color is very dark. IBU, of course, is down pretty low. But overall, that's all the information we have about the Grinch. There's no, I guess we'll say Christmas spices. What else?
Maybe that's what I'm tasting. I'm definitely getting
caramel and treacle.
Well, I'm detecting coffee, but I could be mistaking it for if it's spices.
So there's even a hint of Granny's plum pud. I gotta say, I give a thumbs up to that beer.
It's nice.
It's similar to the one we had 2 days ago, which was called. Was it? Hang on. The S'more Stout.
Yeah.
Now the S'more Stout was a beer from Red Racer on day 9 of the Advent calendar, and it tastes very similar to this. There might be a little. It might have been a bit sweeter than this one, but I got to say this one is not that bad. I'm kind of impressed. Dave, I know you're not a stout guy, but what do you think?
No, I don't mind stouts.
Well, you kind of prefer the thing we had the other day called what the hell was it? Which one was the Radler that we had the other day? Was that the Robo Ruby? No. That was the
no.
Oh my lord, I can't remember. The Superfruit IPA.
No, we had it 2 days ago.
Must have been the Robo Ruby?
No.
Sugar Plum?
No. Yes. Sugar Plum.
Sugar Plum.
It was Sugar Plum.
Okay. So, Dave, give us
good.
your full-on review of what this beer reminds you of and why.
Okay, hang on a second. I gotta get another taste here.
Okay.
What does it remind me of? I guess if we're talking spices, we'd be talking the savory spices.
Like
not necessarily
savory.
The sweet.
Like, isn't there a spice that's called savory?
There is, yeah. Actually, yes.
Yeah. So
I don't know,
particular spice?
I don't know that particular spice. I'm not that good with my flavors. I don't know. I don't mind this.
No?
I don't think I would get this one again.
Well, you kind of can't. It's unavailable. But...
Well, that's fair. But there's just this sort of aftertaste that I'm not a big fan of. I can't put my finger on what that is, though.
No?
But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I actually like stouts, by the way.
I thought you were the stout guy.
It's
IPAs he doesn't like.
IPAs.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, I've now written you off as knowing you ever again. Thank you, Dave, for really just crushing my dreams.
What a guy.
My pleasure. That's what I'm here for.
Wah, wah. So, okay, well, basically, we haven't seen each other for a little while on this fair podcast. So, what's been going on? What is going on in the world, Alan? There's a really exciting thing that I know I'm kind of excited about. And
well,
that has to do with
before we go into that.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Before we get into that, since our last show, and we were talking about it in the last regular show,
right.
We were going to the Christmas craft beer show, which was
December of course, 1st, right.
in Victoria. And I think we talked a little bit about it in our Advent calendar show, but I think we should bring it up in this. So it's kind of similar to the Great Canadian Beer Fest. It was a bit smaller. Of course, it's indoors, which was this different dynamic. Not as many breweries, and the breweries that were there didn't have as many selections as they would have at Beer Fest. But it was still it was a neat little event. Maybe a bit overpriced for what it was.
Yeah, I would agree.
I thought. One thing about it that I really appreciated, and I wish that Beer Fest would do this, is on the way out, they actually had a Vessel, which is a local Victoria private liquor store, out in the on the way out, and every single beer that you could try in the show, you could buy on your way out.
Yes,
and I thought that was a really nice touch, and I wish that you could do that at Beer Fest. I don't know if that's there's a lot more people at Beer Fest, and maybe it's just not a reasonable thing to do. But it would be nice to kind of have that.
I agree, because it was basically a chance for us to, the big problem I have with Beer Fest, and this is not Beer Fest's fault. This is more my brain's fault, but the big thing is I don't remember a lot of the time what we had. Even if I have the guide and I'm staring at it, I don't necessarily remember the names of the beer. I don't necessarily remember what it is that they tasted like, because there are so many in such a short period of time that you don't get a chance to. Like, there's just no way you are going to have any logical experience with it. You're just going to basically run through, taste beers, go, wow, that one's great. Then 10 minutes later, you've had two more, and you're like, what was that one we had, a little bit ago? I just don't remember. Like, it's just not ever going to happen, I don't think. So, but overall, I think that there is definitely something to be said for, being able to go, that's the one, I'm taking it home right now, because you can you have it right there. So
yeah. I think obviously we didn't try everything that was there at the show. There were some things that we couldn't try because they were unavailable, last minute changes. But for me, the winner was from Lighthouse Brewing, the Night Watch coffee lager.
Okay, keep going.
That to me was hands down the winner of that show out of everything that I tried. And I probably tried, I want to say 15 different brews. So certainly not everything, and nowhere close. But that was a really good one. And I think you and I both bought bottles of that on the way out. And I'm going to suggest that we do that one for an upcoming show.
I agree, because it was kind of amazing, and it's too bad that you didn't see it, that you weren't there, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I just I don't jump in or nothing there, but I have to say that I was impressed by that event, from that respect. I really think it should have been a little more. I don't know what's the word. I really wish that there was more going on in terms of the event itself. It had some benefits. It had over the Great Canadian Beer Fest, they had a live band that wasn't some dude juggling bananas.
It was actually a half decent act.
Yeah, I mean the acts that we've seen at the Great Canadian Beer Fest are kind of
An Oopa band, Darth Fiddler.
They're okay, but
they're
that
memorable.
the crowd that is there, the people that are there, are not necessarily there to see an Oopa band. They are there to drink beer, and chew bubble gum, and they're all out of gum. No, they're there to hang out with people they know and drink beer and hopefully find some beer that they've never had before.
Yeah.
And be able to kind of go, you know what, I really like what this beer has done. What brewery is that? Oh, they're in blah 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 blah. Okay, well maybe I'll make it a chance. I'll take some time and I'll go down there. So there's a few things like that I think Beer Fest does very well. This one up here was okay. Sorry, the one that was in the Memorial Arena was okay. The band was great, but it felt very. I don't know what was we were talking about it when we were there, that it kind of felt a little something like a little. I don't know what am I looking for here? There was something closed in off. I mean, I guess we were used to going outside and doing this kind of stuff rather than, if I wanted to go inside and drink beer, I'll go home. I'll drink beer there. Why don't I come here? But I'm just there's these kinds of little bits and bobs that I don't know. There was just something weird about it. So
yeah. I kind of wonder if the space is a little bit too small.
I mean, granted, it is winter, and it was also pouring with rain when we got there, so there is a benefit to that. So yeah.
Is it Save On?
It was at the Save On Foods Memorial Center.
So I gotta say it was pretty decent for what it was, and I would go again, but I think I would want to. I don't know what. Is it longer on Friday or Saturday? I can't remember which day.
No, it's the same length of time. I think there was probably more available on the Saturday. This was my kind of complaint at Beer Fest. When you get the program, it tells you what beers are going to be available on the Friday and which beers are going to be available on the Saturday, so you can plan ahead. If you want to try the Saturday beers, to buy a ticket for the Saturday.
Right.
For this event, they didn't tell you what beers were going to be there until you actually walk into the event. And then with the program didn't specify which beers would only be available on Friday and which ones would only be available on Saturday. And I think we went to the Friday one. And I think we found a lot of the beers that we were very interested in and wanted to try. They said, "Oh, sorry, that's a Saturday beer."
That's right. Who was that? That was yeah, I know.
Well, there was a few of them. Most notably, the Driftwood Old Cellar Dweller cask.
Right.
Which we wanted to try was not there.
Which was lame. And shame on you, you bad event, for not letting me have Cellar Dweller out of a cask.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes me so sad. Dave, you were missed, man. We really wished you would be there, but we know you're a wuss. Thanks for defending yourself, Dave. So anyway, what were you doing that day, Dave? Were you doing anything cool?
What day was that? Friday?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was probably working.
You got to quit
I'm
that job,
just
man.
working.
Drinking beer's more important, man. Drinking beer is more important. You got to quit that stuff, man. You got
I
to
know.
come drink
Working.
beer on a Friday at 5 p.m.
Jobs for the birds, man.
But my dad, by the way, says that you suck and that you weren't there, so you suck twice. So congratulations, you've earned the ire of my father.
That
But
is
overall,
not
I mean,
difficult.
it was that. But overall, I mean, I can't really say that the event was not worth going to. I think it very much was. And I think that Dave, you have a year's warning. You know, it's
And like 8 months for Beer Fest. So
yeah, Dave. You know, don't like schedule nothing or not. But anyway, yeah. So overall, good times were had by everyone involved. And
Sounds like it could have been a little better organized. Just a little.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the organization of it. It's just I don't know if the venue is the right venue.
yeah.
Well, I was thinking of your comment about how they how should I put it? They weren't making clear what was what when.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Although I was a bit surprised to run into a company that, or the dude, we talked to some dude about one of the beers, and I've forgotten who it or what beers there were, but he was representing two different organizations, and I had never seen that before. So I was a little weirded out by that, but that, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But overall, good event. What else are we talking about, boys?
Okay, well, the big news. Okay, we're nerds here, right?
Yep.
We like our science fiction.
Yep.
Okay. Who here's a Star Trek fan?
Duh.
I am. I'll admit, I'm a latecomer Star Trek fan. I didn't like Star Trek when I was younger. In fact, I hated it. It wasn't until I met Shane and started watching Next Generation with him that I became a bit of a fan. But anyway, there is a popular director who wants to make a Star Trek movie. His name is Quentin Tarantino. And he has some stipulations. The movie has to be rated R. Not a surprise coming from Tarantino. And J.J. Abrams is reportedly helping Tarantino find a writer and will be a producer of the film. Further to that, Patrick Stewart has gone on record saying that if Tarantino gets to create a Star Trek movie, he wants to be in it.
That would be a pretty killer team.
It would. I question how this would look.
I mean, I would say it would probably look very much like Generations, but with a better script.
You know what? I think it would be based on Tarantino's love of retro-looking things. I could see him going like totally original series, you know, with like the pastels and the campy effects and the sound effects and all that kind of stuff.
That'd be sweet. So what it would, I know, it would be some random science ship out on the edge of the galaxy or something that nobody had ever heard of, with just this crazy ass crew headed by.
And the captain would be like, the captain would be played by Samuel L. Jackson. And have like this big afro.
So who's Stewart then? Who do you see him doing?
Who would Stewart be?
Yeah,
I don't know. Well, I think he's too old now to play a ship captain. So he probably, I don't know what he would be.
The janitor.
It'd be a Captain Picard put out to pasture. That's totally what it would be.
It'd be awesome if he was the ship's janitor.
I'm trying to think of how that would actually work. Like, how would
He would kill at that. Have you guys ever seen Space Janitors?
uh
It's quite funny, actually.
some of them I've seen something from it. Yeah.
It was going to be a thing on Geek and Sundry, and then I guess for whatever reason it ended up dying.
Hmm.
I think. But it was pretty funny. It's actually a Canadian troupe that's doing that.
If Tarantino made a Star Trek film, would it hurt the legacy of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry's vision?
That's a really hard question. I don't think it would, but it is. Tarantino has enough skill and depth that he would make the film.
Would he
want to
honor
make, but he wouldn't
Star Trek
insult-
canon?
Well, this is what I'm. Well, that's a question in itself, but I think ultimately he would honor what Star Trek is about. Where in my humble opinion, where J.J. Abrams wouldn't or hasn't, because I think I'm not a huge fan of the what's now become known as the Alpha time. No, the Kelvin timeline.
Yeah.
Because I think they got so much backlash about the whole the new movies that it became somewhat of a negative thing with hardcore fans that have been fans for a long time. So so if you go to StarTrek.com, they actually I don't know, this is probably sometime earlier this year where they stipulated that the films were in a different timeline, similar to, and it was the equivalent was said, well, it's like the 1985 A timeline, where Biff, is evil and controls everything. So, anyway,
I would want to see it. I would want to see it.
Oh,
I kind of think of it as Orville times 10.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
And I'm enjoying Orville.
I still haven't seen an episode yet, but I will.
I think that he has done a pretty damn good job of the show.
I don't know, man. Have you seen the Orville? I mean, really? Only
I've seen most of it, actually.
I mean, like, only really severely damaged people watch that show.
And how many episodes have you seen now?
2. Shut up. I've actually only seen 2 episodes, the first and the second. So yeah. Shut up. So yeah, I mean, when you first look at that show, the Orville specifically, you kind of are. I mean, you would probably get some sort of weird feeling that you were insulting Star Trek. But after not long, like after I don't know, probably a good sort of 10 minutes of the second episode, you begin to realize that no, the show's actually it's its own thing. It has its own comedy style, which is very much what Dude Face does all the time. But it has a soul. It actually has, you can see that it has a core that is trying to work its way to, which I think is ultimately they're trying to honor the original Star Trek shows and the films, but they're trying to keep it their own as well. So actually it might be 3 episodes. It's the episode where one of the lead characters is sitting on an egg. And he has to Bortus, and he has to keep it warm during a battle. Anyway, so yeah, but overall, I give it up a lot for what they've done. and I gather they've already been picked up for a second season. So
Yes. Now, what about Discovery?
I am in love with Discovery so far.
Really?
I am pleased. I am not necessarily on board with all the characters, because the one thing that's different about this particular show, and I think is the reason why a lot of people don't like it, is that in Star Trek, when you're on a ship, traditionally everyone, with the exception of, typical things that happen in life, everyone ultimately likes each other. So Joe Smith running the navigation to science officer to the captain, if they're all working together and doing their job, they like each other. Where Discovery, I think the major issue, which is I think on purpose, is that not everyone likes each other because there's history from the first couple of episodes with the characters later on in the show, which I think is not a bad idea, because considering what occurred for the point of view of a lot of these different characters, they have every right to not like each other. They have every right to hate the lead character. They have all these different justifications where they don't necessarily need to love those people. So initially it bothered me, because I thought, you know what, this is not very good. What is going on? And it wasn't until the
But
sixth.
didn't they have the same thing in Star Trek Voyager, where you had the Maquis
Well,
and the
kind of,
Federation
but they,
guys, and they didn't like each other? And
yeah, but that's that. Well, yes and no. That's slightly different because they're adversaries, where this show is not necessarily, or the situation on Discovery is not necessarily adversarial from a, we're Starfleet, you're Maquis, you're a terrorist group, we stop you and you're a bunch of jerks. This is, yeah, I was friends with this person the other day, and then they did this stupid thing and they tried to kill me accidentally, and then I got shot in the face. So, it's slightly different. Same emotional content, I would think. But again, in Star Trek Voyager, there wasn't a whole lot of conflict between Chakotay and not Deanna Troi, Janeway. From what I remember anyway, basically he would walk into her room before he became her number one and would say, "Sup, lady? Yeah, we want like 2 steaks and an order of fries." And she'd be like, "All right, cool. Yeah, go get it. You're pretty good, Good job. Blah, 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 blah. Notice you're in Starfleet. How's it going? Hey, look, lady, don't push me. I just want the fries and I want the steak. So I'll be back later for, dessert." And then he'd go off, and then he'd come back later on. He'd be like, "Yo, so I had the steak, we had the fries, we shared. It was great. But you know what? We could really use some of those little tiny cups of that gelatin in the with a little fire, and it melts the guys." Mwah. And then she'd be like, "Yeah, go off the thing, give it to," and then they'd bug her off. And then eventually, like an episode or two later, she was like, "So, buddy, you're pretty awesome. So, if you want to be awesome more, then why don't you be awesome with us?" And he's like, "Well, I did go to Starfleet, so okay."
Can I offer what I think people's problem with Discovery is that Discovery does not follow the same pattern as other Star Trek series before it, where, the pilot of the ship, don't know what his name is. I know who the captain is. Yeah, I know who the captain is. I know who the first officer is. I even know who the security chief is. Do I know who the chief engineer is? I know who the doctor is.
The doctor, actually, you're right. I have no idea where the chief.
Yeah,
who's running the engine? We know the guy who does
the ship. The guy who drives the ship. No idea. The other guy who sits in the other chair where Chekhov or Data would sit. No idea who that is. It's kind of like a robot-y looking kind of thing. Um,
That is actually true. Okay, now I will give that to you that is definitely, we don't know.
we don't have the all the characters that we normally have. We've got a few of them, and we've got another character in there who just seems to be, the main character's roommate, who's kind of annoying. I guess she's kind of the comic relief or whatever. But I think that's the big thing. It doesn't follow the cookie cutter that all Star Trek series seem to follow.
Yep, that is correct. Which I kind of think is a good thing, because here's the reason why I'm so forgiving. It's because of Enterprise. We had Star Trek was on television from 1988 until 2005. Was that when Enterprise ended? I think.
Well, it's got to be later than that.
I can't remember. But essentially, we had all of that time for those shows to be on the air. Where basically every week, one show, and sometimes every week had 2 episodes of different shows overlapping. Like we had a bit of an overlap with Star Trek Next Generation and DS9.
Mm-hmm.
Then DS9 was overlapping quite a while with Voyager. And then Voyager, did it end before?
Yes, it did.
So it ended, and then I think Enterprise started that following,
Yes.
January.
Yes, it did.
So we had all of this history, and then we went backwards in time, because instead of it being, TNG Into the Future with 2 other shows, we went backwards. But they weren't brave enough to make Enterprise be its own thing. They had gimmicks. They had, what should we call it when shit's going wrong? I don't know. The color red seems like a good idea. Well, that sounds great. Well, God, what kind of like it's kind of like one of those old submarine things, right? It was like an alert. I'm like, red alert. Let's call it that. I mean, oh, sure. Okay. It was cute to have that sort of invention going on. But, if you watch the entire show, which I did, and I didn't watch it during its original run. I watched it during the year of the busted ankle. I enjoyed it. I liked the little cutesy things. The best character of the entire series was the Doctor. But they, in the very last episode, destroyed the entire series in 3 minutes of screen time, probably less. And you've seen the show, Dave?
Yes.
I watched the first little bit. I didn't finish the season or finish up the
show.
show.
I'm going to spoil it for you. The very last episode of Discovery in season 4.
Not Discovery.
Sorry, in Enterprise. Season 4?
Something like that, yeah.
It was a 4. I can't remember. It was 5. Anyway, whatever. Basically, at the very end, all of this stuff's going on. They've formed the Federation. The Federation has just been signed off on, and they're about to start being a Federation together. And then suddenly, you hear a voiceover from bearded sex man Riker, basically saying, "Save and end program." And then it's like, what? Oh, yeah, so Deanna, what did you think? And she's like, oh, it was so great, hubby. Thanks so much. I like living on the Titan. It's so great. And that's how the Federation was formed. I didn't know that because apparently I'm a telepath who's stupid. I have a big penis, and let's go have some more sex. And then it's like, the doors on a holodeck open. They bugger out. The doors close, and that's it. It's like, yep, so this whole series, just a history lesson for his woman. I'm like, what?
The whole thing was basically just a holodeck simulation.
A big steaming dump on the series because they weren't brave to say, no, sure, the ratings aren't as good. We could probably do some things that are better in the show. But you know what? God damn it. This thing could stand on its own. And they took heat for the theme song. They took heat for, which, by the way, there's a great video that I watched just recently about the history of that theme song. It was written for a completely different purpose. Who knew? Which is why it didn't quite fit. But in my opinion about the theme song, they were brave enough to go, you know what? We've had these orchestral things for since the very beginning. Let's try and shake it up a bit. Which they did. Was it successful? Yeah, debatable. But that sadly is, I think, the only brave thing they did. Scott Bakula was amazing. So was probably one or two of the other people. But the warning signs went off in the first episode where the characters are like wandering around doing something, and then they're suddenly rubbing jelly on themselves. And I thought, why do we have this like pseudo softcore porn in Star Trek? Because, you didn't see Picard going, you know what? Let's get naked. Like, what the hell? What was that about? Anyway, it was a cute idea that, they had to disinfect, because transporters didn't exist and all that kind of stuff. But still, come on. But, that was forgivable. That was a forgivable sin, where the rest of it, not so much, where it's just like, Riker doing the Riker maneuver, but the backwards one all over the series. So, yeah. So anyway, my point being, that all said, I'm happy that they have not just done the cookie cutter, this is a Star Trek series. And I'm excited to see where it goes. If after like the rest of the season that airs starting January 7th or so, goes completely sideways, then I'll be very put out. But so far, thumbs up. I hope.
I don't like the Klingons.
You don't like the Klingons, really?
I don't like them. I don't like it when they.
My jury is still out regarding the Klingons. I kind of like them.
It's just so laboring.
But I want to know why they're different, and we haven't really had that explained to us yet. Which I think will start to happen, considering in the last episode, I think they captured a Klingon. I think, is that what happened? I can't remember.
They did.
So hopefully, I'm not wild about the subplot that they're doing with that, but I think that it could be interesting. But it's Dave's fault if it all goes to hell.
No, I think that one we agreed would be your fault.
Damn it, you're on to me, man. Indeed. Jesus. The one actually, speaking of the thing you're saying about the characters not actually knowing who the characters were, that specifically the ones who were on the bridge, the one with the thing on the side of her head, I think
she looks like a skater.
She really needs to have an episode where they air her grievances, because she's mad. She's pissed off at the lead. But we so far have not had her go, walking into the mess hall or somewhere and just throwing down and saying, "Look, bitch, we're going right now. Look what happened to my fucking."
They need to have like a pillow fight. Is what they need to have.
Yeah, well, after lathering themselves up with jelly and then
down pillows that break
You're
open.
Such a bad person. I want you to die. Burnham.
Who invited you to our slumber party?
Yeah, who invited you to our slumber party? Yeah, because that character was on the damn bridge of the ship that exploded at the beginning, the Shenzhou, and it makes total sense that she got hurt, that she that stuff on the side of her head, the metal or whatever it is. But it would be kind of nice if we would just have her beat the crap out of what's her face.
Maybe she will.
It's possible. I kind of hope she will, but again,
what's the deal with calling the main character Michael?
I don't know. That I haven't figured out at the moment.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on. Sticking with the space theme that we're on. This is real life now. Astronomers have been noticing since October, I believe it was, an asteroid that has entered into our solar system. The asteroid, amazingly, is not really asteroid shaped. It is long and cylindrical. It's about
Did you guys hear
10
that?
times 10 times longer than it is wide.
Do you guys hear whale song?
So anyway, astronomers are apparently going to test this thing, or going to analyze it for alien technology, which is kind of interesting because you would expect an asteroid to be like spherical or, like a hunk of rock. You wouldn't expect it to be, basically looking like a really big doobie.
A really big doobie. Yeah, well, I mean, the pictures that are in this article that you sent is they look very much like it's some sort of thing. Now, I've searched for the thing they're calling it, which I will not be able to pronounce, but the
Oumuamua.
umama. So that it's a 1/4 mile long, 260 feet wide, traveling at around 196,000 miles an hour. Now, one of the astronomers supposedly, because the website news agencies that are spreading the story are dubious. But one of the astronomers is suggesting that it's actually an alien spacecraft that's just has busted engines. Now, I kind of hope that's what it is in some way. Specifically, it's going to pass within, or it already has done this. Has it done this already? That's the part that I don't actually know if it's done the loop around the sun yet.
I don't think so. I think it's only entered the solar system quite recently.
So honestly, I kind of hope that it is actually a spacecraft that's just like, we've had these problems, and hi, sentient beings, sorry, we're breaking the prime directive here. But hi, you guys wouldn't happen to have any blah, 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 blah. It's an element that we have on our planet. What about you guys? No? Oh shit. So we're gonna have to hover over South Africa and stay.
We need a new beryllium sphere.
Cute. Are you hoping it's a spacecraft there, Dave?
Yes.
Do you think it might be?
I don't know. Just looking at that picture quickly, didn't look at it.
I mean, it's an artist's conception. I mean, it's not an actual picture of the thing.
It could be. I'm not gonna write it off as a possibility. And I kind of hope
maybe they're coming to enslave us.
That's happened before, many, many years ago. Gotta say, I kind of hope that they want our water and our use us for food. So,
well, they could come and create the Matrix.
Okay, I could go for that too. I could totally have like a I'm trying to think of how to say this nicely, but Dave's delicious. Please eat him first. I have his address. I'll show you where he lives. Just leave my pug alone.
I can hope they go
Ayo.
childhood's end on us, actually.
I gotta say, I would not eat you, Dave. I'm sorry to say, but I would give you to an alien race.
I'm not sure that they would consider that a ringing endorsement.
No, not at all. That's okay. I'm sure you're delicious because you're, short like me. Short men are delicious. Actually, that doesn't sound very good, does it?
No, or flavor.
So, what other stories have we got this week? Star Trek, invasion of the world by an alien broken spacecraft.
That's all I got.
That's all you got? Oh, that's terrible. Well, I will tell you this one thing. The year in review published by the Brewers Association of the United States of America has said that 2017 has broken the record for the number of active breweries in their country. They now have 6,000 individual breweries operating within the United States. Wow. And 83% of adults 21 and over now live within 10 miles of a brewery.
Wow.
What is the economic impact of all of this? 756,373 jobs have been recorded. Craft beer full-time equivalent jobs, a 7.5 increase from 2014. And the craft brewers contribute to the U.S. economy, at least in 2006, of course, of $67.8 billion. So there you go. I suspect we have something very similar going on in our fair country. But Probably. Do we have a beer association here? Probably. Do I care? Not really. I don't know. That's kind of cool. I think that we have a lot of incredibly awesome breweries here, and I certainly hope that the economic impact will be a benefit, because with that much beer flowing through people's veins, Dave, you're going to have your hands filled when you start
and your veins.
And your veins.
They have a little bit going on right now.
True. Is it fair to say that to move away from beer for a moment, I want to know if you guys, being that it is now day 13 of December, which, by the way, happy birthday to Sean. Have you guys been doing any of the consumption of shows having to do with Christmas?
I have not.
Yeah, I can't say that I have either.
So sad, boys.
Which is odd for me. We really haven't gotten into Christmas this year yet. We haven't even put up our tree yet.
What about you, Dave? Yeah, we didn't put your tree up, really.
No tree, but it's apparently selected.
The tree has been selected.
Yes, but not cut.
I don't know what that means. Oh, you're cutting down a real tree.
Yes.
Oh, so your parents
tree
are
murderer.
Like you tree killer.
This is for a good cause.
We have a plastic one. It goes in a box.
I have two plastic ones that go and actually we threw the boxes out. But overall, yeah, I'm kind of with you on this one, Alan. I have not been hugely Christmassy this year. I really should be, but I'm not.
I think part of the problem is my wife and I, we've agreed, or pardon me, we didn't agree. She decreed that we weren't going to give each other presents this year. So
Okay.
I'm not really getting anything for Christmas this year. So I'm kind of not. I'm a big Christmas person. I love Christmas. I love sort of getting presents. I love buying presents for other people. I love giving. And she's like, no, I don't want anything. And you're not getting anything either. I'm like, oh, all right, fine.
Did you piss her off somehow or something? Or...
No.
Okay.
So we're buying for kids and that's.
Well, you know, you should buy.
She says if there's anything I want, I can go buy it for myself. So.
Well, that's fair.
And she's right. There's nothing I need right now. I mean, there isn't even anything I want. No. I have everything.
You have everything.
I have
$1 billion.
I have a beer podcast that we are known throughout the world for. Two great one great friend and one okay friend. I got a wife that talks to me every week. Kids who
Sometimes twice.
Kids who shower me with adoration and bills. I have everything that a guy could want. The fact that I don't have a Nintendo Entertainment System styled case for my Raspberry Pi, that's nothing, right? The fact that I don't have my retro game controllers for that Raspberry Pi, again, nothing. I don't need those things. I have other things that don't work as well. But it's besides the point.
So basically, we are not very Christmassy, and whose fault is it? Dave, what did
fault?
you do?
I think it's Alan's fault.
Trump. It's Trump.
It's Trump.
It's Trump.
Trump has killed our
It's all
spirits.
Trump's fault.
Way to go, Trump. Jerk ass.
That's so sad.
Nice work,
That's
buddy.
so sad. Trump has killed our ability to love.
All right, I'm out. I'm out of stuff.
Excellent. All right, boys. Thank you, Dave, for coming.
Yes.
I'm glad you're feeling better. Alan and I, of course, we will be doing the Advent calendar tomorrow, day 14. I just put it in the fridge to chill. I don't know what it is. It's still in a bag, but that's because I'm awesome and don't cheat.
You know what? I don't know what the 14th one. I don't know what tomorrow's is either.
Excellent. So, Dave, I certainly hope you surface at some point in the next few days because you and I got this other thing we got to do.
Yeah.
And
well,
thanks everyone for watching. I certainly hope that you guys will come back next week when we return for. Oh no, wait. That's a good point. We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Alan, take us out.
I don't have anything to take you out with.